The UN says it has not been able to distribute aid entering Gaza because of a security process which requires workers to unload and then reload aid trucks. This comes as Israel faces rising pressure for aid to reach civilians in Gaza.
Civilians in Gaza facing starvation, homelessness, trauma, desperate for this war to end, now confront renewed bombardment, new displacement, and new suffering.
That's UK Foreign Secretary David Lammy commenting after the country suspended trade talks with Israel because of its new offensive in Gaza. Frederick Vigneault has worked for Doctors Without Borders in Gaza as a logistical coordinator 4 times since October of 2023. He's joining us from Quebec City this morning. You just returned from Gaza April 25th, and then less than 3 weeks later, Israel began this latest offensive. That happened May 15th. Can you describe for us the conditions where you were, what your experience was like there? And I should let everybody know we've got some pictures from Doctors Without Borders. I haven't seen these yet, but thank you for providing them.
Good morning. So yes, I have arrived late February during the ceasefire. Shortly after, on March 2nd, the border got closed and no cargo was allowed to come in. Shortly after, we started to see ruptures in many food items. Ourselves as a medical organization, we started to miss some drugs. So the situation started to be drastic even during the ceasefire. Then on March 18th, the ceasefire ended, and then there was almost daily we had evacuation notice in some neighborhood. We had massive population displacement, shelling constantly from the gunship, from the ground troops, airstrikes as well, and the situation has been just getting worse and worse ever since.
Since October 2023, you shared that 11 of your colleagues have been killed. So how is this new stage of the war affecting the work that your team is attempting to do in the midst of the conditions you just described for us?
Correct. Well, obviously, there's no guarantee for anybody, even for humanitarian workers. We have to balance a little bit. We have now over 1,000 Palestinian staff inside, plus about 30 international staff working inside as well. We need to balance the support giving to the population that is in dire need versus our own security. Obviously now in the last few days, the situation has been worsening. So we expect, sadly, probably that we will have more security incidents. It's always a balance of what you can support versus your own security.
The pictures that we're looking at right now, you can see it's a makeshift hospital. It's like, you know, it's just sticks and plastic for a hospital. And then what are these fires that we're seeing? They look almost like a campfire stove outside. What is that, Frederick? Do you know?
To be honest, I could not see the fire clearly. I'm not sure.
They look almost like a food station, maybe, perhaps, for people that are there.
There is probably. So now, since March 2nd, there is no more gas coming for cooking, for example. So the population or humanitarian organization are making those big fires, burning pallets, burning furniture, burning whatever they can find to be able to cook the little bit of food that they can find locally.
Well, let's talk about that. Gaza, we know, has been without food aid for 11 weeks now. The UN warned earlier this week the situation of starvation and what's being described as forced famine. They called it chilling. You know, there was this report yesterday, 14,000 babies could die in Gaza within a couple of days if aid does not reach people. You know, people at home can't see you, but you are nodding emphatically at all these numbers. Can you describe what you've seen and how dire the situation is there? What do you want people to understand about what's happening in Gaza?
To be clear, the reason that there's no food is not a logistical challenge. The border was purposely closed on March 2nd, and it is very much a manufactured crisis, and it will not be fixed with 5 trucks coming in here or 100 trucks coming in there. There is, I believe, before the conflict, 500 trucks coming daily, and we need more than this to be coming to reach the population in a way that the population can reach them with dignity. I know, talking to the team the last few days, for example, there is no more flour since many weeks. Even in my time there, when I left in late February, we could not find, late April, sorry, we could not find eggs, we could not find meat. So basically anything with protein was already gone. We could not find fruits. Now I see that even a small onion, smaller than a fist, sells on the market for the equivalent of about 20 Canadian dollars. So the population is basically struggling. They eat whatever they can. There was reports when I left that they were starting to eat turtles when they can find. Some people are risking their lives to be fishing as the Israeli Defense Forces are shooting the fishermen. So it's quite drastic. The entire population is acute malnutrition stage. And I heard that about 500,000 people, which is 1 person out of 5 or almost, is in a catastrophic state. And this will just obviously worsen with time.
Frederick, what are you thinking of and in these next couple of days? As you see these pictures, you hear the reports, you've just been on the ground there. What is top of mind for you?
I don't know. To be honest, there's no light at the end of the tunnel. Everything that we see now, there's more evacuation notice. There's more ground troops moving. I know that the Canadian government, the English and the French, I believe, made some pressure a couple of days ago, but it's not enough. It's not the first time that some countries are making pressure, threatening sanctions, etc. Nevertheless, as long as the border is closed and we don't have a sustained ceasefire, the people will keep dying daily. Civilians, pregnant women, children.
Frederick, and just to remind everybody, you're not just treating, war injuries in hospital. People are still living their lives. Babies are still being born. So you're trying to treat them, treat war injuries. And outside the hospital, there are people dying of starvation.
Yes, exactly. And all of this has a compound effect. The fact that the border is closed means there's no food. There is no food, so there's more people with malnutrition coming to our clinic. We cannot be present as much as we would like to because of insecurity. We have a lot of people with waterborne disease because we cannot bring treatment plants or spare parts, etc. So yes, we're treating everybody that we can. Unfortunately, we had to restrict the criteria for the patient admissions because also ourselves we're not able to import drugs anymore. So we're starting to have a critical lack of medical supplies. So we're treating really the super urgent cases at a time where we have more admissions and the need are worse than ever.
Frederick Viano, Logistical Coordinator at Doctors Without Borders. I want to thank you for your description, letting us know what is being experienced on the ground there this morning.
Thank you very much.
If you like that video, make sure to subscribe to the Your Morning YouTube feed, where you can find all kinds of new content posted every weekday morning.